Hello everybody and welcome back to Pravus Gaming and more Hearts of Iron 4. Poland Stronk! Let's go kill Xinjiang since apparently we're fighting the Chinese United Front. America is losing ground in Japan. It was a really valiant effort, it really was, but it looks like they did not follow up appropriately, which is very, very disappointing to me. How are you looking in terms of like fielded troops and stuff? Not that much. 153? Freaking heck, I got more than that. I'm stronger than the United States, potentially. I almost have as many factories. Not quite, though. They've got a really good industrial base there. Let's see. 275 ships. Compare that with Japan. They've got more ships. The real advantage that the United States has over the Japan right now is that they have far better production capability. And also more planes. Aside from that, though, Japan's navy is larger. That does not mean that it's better, but it's pretty darn good all in all. Yeah, I don't know. If the United States isn't going to commit to this one, then they're going to find themselves in a pretty rough spot. But they at least have the industrial base to actually challenge the German Reich, which is nice. The UK, though, once you factor in their navy with the American navy, now there's a winning combo. That's pretty good. It's pretty darn good. Free France is still holding out against Vichy France. Not by much, though. And they can't actually fight over very much either because most of this is horrible desert. Frankly, you guys should have pushed all the way up to nationalist Spain a long time ago. What's wrong with you guys? Well, anyway. Alright, so we're just going to eat all this real quick. Go through all here. Have one of you turn around and go over here. We're having some attrition issues now because I don't think we have enough supply in the area, technically speaking. Not that it's going to be much of an issue. We should be able to take these guys out, no problem, really. Just take out the Chinese unit in front, get a little bit of land. I mean, it's not like you had much. You have a couple of factories, I suppose, I could steal. Whoop-de-frickin-do. Heck, could even try to create a new subject nation down here and feed them some land if I wanted to. But why do that when I could just eat it myself? That is the question that I must ask. Alright, how are we doing in terms of production? We are mostly missing out on some artillery because we have a lot that we need to upgrade in just a little bit. Let's go ahead and start committing some more factories in that direction because we're going to have a bunch. I have a lot more offensive armies that I want to move to a 40 combat with templates, so we're going to need a lot more artillery to make that work. Let's see. Need some more steel, huh? All right. How about USA? We trade with you. And for rubber, Japan kind of has a huge amount of it. I think we have to rely on British Malaya. And unfortunately, it doesn't look to me like the Dutch are living up to their end of the bargain pretty much at all. So, yeah, let's just stick with British Malaya if possible. Whoop. Is that the end? Is that it? Did Japan just technically finish? I think they might have. Well, that's fun. Okay, so you actually did already subjugate everybody. So all these people are subject, you're telling me, huh? How much? I got 13. Oh, yeah, I can... Oh, God, I can't... I will take... I can't even take that. Pass. Take. Gosh, frickin' pass. Take. Got it. I can take a single province. I could possibly take some more down here. This would be the real prize, but... I don't really want to create border guard that I can't defend. What's the point? Now, what would be fun is taking Communist China or something as a subject. Puppet? I'm not going to get enough, though. Can't quite puppet you. Yeah, that's it. All right. I didn't think I was going to get it. We technically took a single state. So good for us. Japan got 5. Everyone else has been puppeted under the Asian co-prosperity sphere. Shockingly enough, China did not surrender in that, and they are still at war, so they're going to be falling soon enough, which is a little weird, but okay, sure. So there it is. The co-prosperity sphere now is officially properly bordered with me. That's the sort of thing that you get concerned about and the reason you want to have a bunch of troops ready to station over here. In the meantime, it's not going to be these guys, though. The rest of y'all can go back home somewhere else. We'll send some more entrenching troops over here eventually. Let's see. For now, let's try setting you guys up over, let's say, here. If that works. And the idea with you as an offensive army is to push down this way. Because if I can cut the Balkans off from the rest of the reinforcements from Germany and Italy, that would make it easier to take this down and kind of shore up my western flank. And then focus all my efforts down here in Germany. We'll see what ends up happening there. Everyone else is looking okay. You guys, you do still need to have some borders, so we'll put you guys up over here. We'll also need some borders over here. So for now, let's go ahead and set up a few like this. All right. It won't be quite enough to fully hold them back, but between Manchukuo and dictatorial Xinjiang, we actually could totally hold these front lines, I think, while we deal with the Germans, and then we'll come back to them later. As long as the Japanese don't manage to push through the British Raj. Which potentially could happen. Decimetric radar. All right, we got that. 1942, go early on something over here. I think instead, let's focus on getting things like maintenance companies up and running. The extra reliability can be very nice. You guys should be getting out of there. Pretty sure all of you have movement orders. Yeah, okay. Sometimes the exile divisions are stupid and just stay here for who knows how long. The Yunnan Free Empire has capitulated. Okay. Well, that was to be expected. Yeah, China's not going to last that much longer. Neither are the Americans, unfortunately. They got Tokyo back. But they do have this set up in Hokkaido. Again, get the naval dominance here. Set up your troops. You get enough over here. You've got an invasion point. You might be able to take advantage of that. Hold this. That's all it takes. Hold this port. Eventually, you'll be able to hit the Japanese hard. But yeah, no, I got really excited about that, but I should have known it wasn't going to work out. America's not always very smart about how they do that. Anyway, do we want to spend some political power, like, let's say, expanding something, maybe getting some steel? It's not the worst idea in the world. Could also try getting rid of, you know, fascists, communists, and so on. Working conditions for stability is always nice. War propaganda is actually not a bad thing to have. It's just I'm not sure it's worth spending the political power on it right now. Especially when I technically could continue upgrading my government. For example, I would really love to have the armor expert for extra attack and defense for armor. Would also love to have the air superiority expert. And I would like to have the ground support expert, who, by the way, doesn't give ground support but gives air superiority because that makes perfect sense. All right, we can continue working with the doctrine. Air support mission efficiency. Not a bad idea. Just double checking. There's nothing else I feel like I really need this exact second. We will want to have... We have a research bonus we could use for something like this. Well, no, that doesn't really matter much. I mean, yeah, I think out of the bunch, air doctrine probably is still the best thing to work on right now. Alrighty, so let's see. We are still training the rest of you. So you guys are going to get deployed automatically to purple. So that'll finish you off at 14. You guys... I still want to be offensive in nature. I don't have enough artillery for pretty much anything we're doing. And that upgrade is certainly going to slow things down quite a bit. Are we still producing factories? We are, and we're also doing some repairs. I actually kind of need some more civilian factories. And they don't have to have very good infrastructure. They're basically just for trading. That's what matters more than anything to me. And then we'll work on some more factories over here. Factories over here. We're still repairing a lot of infrastructure up in these areas. 100% up here, huh? In Leningrad? That's pretty good. And by pretty good, I mean it's literally the best you could hope for. Which I call pretty good. Anything else? Everything else is pretty much at 50% or lower. So I don't see any amazing points for factories. Maybe build some of these areas anyway just to have some factories that are able to produce that the Germans can't easily get to. I would love to cut off Danzig right here. That's a pretty easy area to do a quick cutoff, and then we'll just gradually take these guys out. But yeah, we need so many more tanks. So how are we doing on the tank production? We're up to 1.5 thousand. 1,500 medium tanks. We got 2,000 light tanks. The light tank divisions... I'm going to go ahead and just quickly change your name so I don't lose track of you. 20 with light. Okay, so you take 300 light tanks each. It's not too bad. Yeah, we could build a few light tank divisions at least, and that's helpful. I'm not really using field hospitals much. I might place those in my defensive units if I can. Other than that, logistics companies to make the 40 combat with guys better is still pretty darn helpful. Don't really see the need to go ahead of time on anything over there yet. Maybe we could go ahead of time on production. Like, the efficiency growth is awesome. But that still would take 202 days. I think I will continue with, let's say, the engineers and so on. If I can get early construction tech so I can continue building factories and also forts faster, that would be awesome. But we'll see what ends up happening with all of that. The fall of Manila in the Philippines. Okay, so the Japanese are pushing down over there, and the United States is not successfully defending. Vichy France has canceled their non-aggression pact. Yeah, entirely possible that at some point we're going to find the Germans decide to pull the trigger against us, whether we're ready or not. I've been kind of operating on the assumption that I will get to choose the timing, but maybe no. Maybe I will not get to do that. I'm going to go ahead and start training up some more basic divisions for defense, just once more. These guys will be a new defensive army we can use against the Germans. Again, I need to have really solid entrenchment here, because even if our numbers are roughly equivalent, he's going to have really solid tech. There goes the non-aggression pact with Italy. Okay, so they've decided their strategic interests are in killing me now, which I don't like. Okay. In terms of equipment, we're still not that far behind. Artillery's actually starting to catch up all right. We're getting there. Infantry equipment, the biggest issue is that I have a lot more upgrades to go. We have a lot of towed artillery that still needs to be upgraded. Lots of tier 1 towed artillery. And we're gradually catching up with a couple 100,000 more infantry equipment necessary. The fall of Hong Kong from the British Crown. All right. We can change our government. Looks like India failed to leave the UK. Out of all of these, I guess it doesn't really matter what I take yet. I don't need a ship designer. I gain nothing from that. I don't need a political advisor. I don't need to go for more conscription yet. I don't need to change my laws here. So I think let's go ahead and pick up things like the armor attack division. Not that I have literally any armor yet, but we will. Air innovations is done. Awesome. Naval bombers, light bombers, air modernization, more doctrine, and then jet and rocketry. That could be fun. Let's go ahead and research. I want to do this to see if I get... Because here's the thing. Normally, if this national focus is no longer relevant, you wouldn't be... it would like automatically go away, right? But in this case, it's not. We'll go for the light bomber support for now for the close air support. Maybe after I finish this next round of tank, then I'll go ahead and pick it up, and we'll see if it applies to the Yutan. Or however you say that. What is that? Is that a T? Is that an L with a line through it? What is it? I have no idea. Point is, I want to get the modern tanks early. Like, really early. Because that would be massive if I could. As it is, we're like 70-some days away from a pretty good ahead-of-time tank, 1943 variant of tank. By the time that it is done, we'll almost be able to start researching, let's say, the tank destroyers and self-propelled artillery if we wanted to, without any ahead-of-time bonus, and that could be helpful. A little bit behind in tungsten, but not by a ton. Still building a few more of these military factories. Should be catching up okay on artillery. We are going to need more, though. Catching up on anti-tank, anti-air. That's all fine. 2,000 medium tanks now. So we're almost caught up in medium tanks to light tanks. Should freaking hope so with 40 factories compared to 5. We will need a lot more fighters, probably. Motorized, we're doing okay. Honestly, if anything, we could probably pull back on this a little bit. I'll hold on to it for now. Mechanized, we're catching up. Part of me wants to go for more infantry equipment just so I can have the upgraded guns, because they do make a difference. Let's do a quick comparison here. So, regular guns, 9 soft attack, 1.5 hard attack. A little bit of piercing, a little bit of breakthrough, pretty good defense. New guns is almost like a 40% increase in the effectiveness of all infantry. That does seem pretty solid, doesn't it? How many mechanized does it take again if I want to build these divisions? 500. I can only make 2 of those divisions so far. I would need a lot more. We also are going to need a lot more artillery. Let's go ahead and start increasing artillery. Then we'll do a bit more infantry equipment. Then I think we'll go for some more mechanized. And then I think we just go for more fighters. If possible. he's going to have a huge advantage in terms of his air superiority. So we'll try finishing out all these factories. We did get our artillery boost, so that's nice. So we'll have to start producing those. I think I might want to just go ahead and be ahead of time here on construction. Let's go ahead and get started early. I think it's worth it. All right, artillery. So we're almost reinforced. I'm going to wait just a couple days so that this is a finish and we'll be fully reinforced so we don't have any low combat strength on anybody else. And then we're going to swap over to the new artillery, and then at least it won't be a matter of reinforcing, it'll be a matter of upgrades. We're going to go down by quite a bit of efficiency in just a moment. One more day. That'll do it. All right, let's swap over. Boom. 14,000 have to be upgraded. Now we're only producing 14 per day. Also, we need a lot more steel. You know what? This is now actually an okay opportunity to use steel mills, expanding out our steel production for ourselves. Yeah, it cost me 5 civilian factories for a month and a half. No, 3 months. Sorry, 3 months. But it's also a permanent increase of 20 steel, which is not the worst thing. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and do that a second time. Lots more steel means in the long term, I'm more self-sufficient, and also I save civilian factories not trading for quite as much. It'll save me a little bit. In the short term, I'm not producing as much here anymore. But that'll be fine. So let's start planning out things like, I don't know, radar. We're going to want to have radar in these areas. Oh, we'll need some down over here. Might not need it over here. I can't build anything in Romania, and that sucks so bad. Part of me wishes that Romania was dead. Okay, we'll get some radar towers in a few helpful locations down here just so we can detect their fighters and possibly shoot them down better. Because they're going to bomb the crud out of me. Also, we'll definitely want to have some air superiority. Anti-air guns up over here. I don't know if we necessarily need them over here yet. Let's focus on that primarily. Wherever I expect that there's going to be a lot of fighting over my initial bases, like down here, for certain. I don't know if we need that much. Anti-air does not take too long to build. This costs 2,500 civilian. As opposed to over 3,000 for a radar station, as opposed to 7,200 for a factory. So yeah, they build, like, pretty fast. British Malaya is gone. So there goes my rubber. That leaves me with not much. I guess I have to trade with Siam. We don't have any hostility with them yet. We can do with one less here. I'm okay with going into a slight deficit. Get a bit of that going, and then, yeah, I think more American steel is necessary. We are up to 353 factories. We are almost... Well, okay, I don't know if we're catching up, but we're getting there. 353 factories is pretty solid. Over 200 military factories. Definitely catching up to the Germans in a lot of ways. How are we doing in terms of logistics? We are actually okay in artillery still. Producing 20 per day. We have a lot of infantry equipment, most of which is out of date, but still nice to have. 2,600 medium tanks. That's okay. We need a lot more. Light tanks, yeah, could start producing those. Motorized is at 7,000. We may want to train a few of those divisions. And yeah, mechanized. That's got a long way to go. Unfortunately, mechanized is way more expensive than motorized. But it is pretty good. That hardness value can make a difference. Let's take a look at my basic infantry here. These guys have 18.5 piercing value. Mechanized have not enough armor to actually overcome basic infantry with support artillery. No, that doesn't even help them. Yeah, at some point, the guns are just good enough that even the armor value for 20 with mech isn't that good. So I guess I'd have to hope that his infantry don't have any piercing value at all for them to get full value. Strikes me as unlikely, but man, it would be nice. Would love to get some extra stability. It would temporarily cost me a lot in factories, though. But stability is important enough to avoid a lot of really nasty events that it could be helpful. Alright, light bomber focus is done. We still have at least a year before I'm going to war. It's just, it's gonna be a bit. Could go for another doctrine increase. Not worried about the naval branch at all. Rocket development is not necessary this second, though it would be nice eventually. If I'm going to go for the army modernizations, it will mean that I want to go for, let's say, the infantry equipment early here. Depends. Do I think that I'm going to fight the Germans in 1943? If not, I'll get this normally, and maybe I go for the land night attack early for 1946. I think we hold off on that for now. We'll wait until we know a bit more on what we're doing here. Anti-tank guns could do that. It won't affect much in terms of what we're producing. Let's go ahead and get another air doctrine increase. Just speed this along a little bit. Engineer companies are about to improve. The Dutch East Indies have capitulated. No surprise. British Malaya falls. The Dutch East Indies are going to fall immediately after. Let's go ahead and improve our recon company. About to finish up with this tank. I guess I could have gone for the... Maybe I should have gone for the other tank variant. Alright. Yeah, that would take a long time to research. So the question now is, do I want to have self-propelled guns or do I want to have tank destroyers? Those are pretty good. They don't take very long to research. They're extremely strong. So let's do a quick comparison here. So a medium tank has 66 breakthrough, 32 soft attack, 91 piercing. Let's just say that those are the things that I care about right now. Compare that then with, these guys, lower breakthrough. It looks like less soft attack to me. It's the same. Wait, that doesn't seem very good. It's not as hard. It has worse defense, worse breakthrough. Less hard attack. Less armor and piercing. I know these are good, but I'm trying to remember why. These aren't on top of everything, are they? Honestly, I don't think that I have the production to justify this regardless. So I'm going to say no to getting any of this. Now, tank destroyers, those can be good. Look at that piercing value. 120 piercing. That is actually helpful. But again, I don't think I really have the production to justify another line of tanks. So we're going to ignore that for the moment. I'm going to go ahead and start doing some early increases in things like production for the efficiency growth. I do like streamlined line better than... Wait. Yes. I know that this has really good retention. I like the efficiency growth, just because it means I can start a whole new line of something and still get benefit, whereas this only retains efficiency if you're changing your lines. It's not bad. They're both good, but I like to go ahead and get started on those early. The more efficiency we have, the more value we get out of every resource that is producing right now. So these medium tanks, I guess we'll go ahead and switch to the new ones. The only question is now, do I want to create a variant right off the bat? The answer is yes, because I don't want to waste my efficiency swapping twice. Extra armor value could be nice. Having like 99 or over 100 means that we're immune to most things, but too much more armor and it's just diminishing returns. Main gun, you know, more piercing value and stuff is nice. More soft attack and such is nice. Reliability is also nice, so we don't waste these dang things. Like, these guys just break down. They're hard to replace. I need these guys to stay on the front line as much as possible. Maybe a bit more armor and a little bit more main gun. Maybe a little bit more main gun. So hang on, do I like this? 30, so that's 1.9 extra soft attack, 4.8 extra hard attack, 9 armor, 9 more piercing. We're slower, but that's fine, and we're still very reliable. That's not too bad. It uses up almost all my army experience is the real downside. But we're going to do it, and we're going to commit to these guys. Really strong tanks. Now, of course, we lost tons of efficiency, so it's going to take a while to get that back up. We also need a lot more steel, because of course we do. UK, you and I be buds. So there go more of my civilian factories, so we're not producing as much. Maintenance companies, excellent. Okay, so these guys increase the reliability of any of my mechanized sort of divisions. Does cost some manpower. Do I want to go for logistics? Probably. Let's go ahead and start working on these some more. When 1943 hits, I think I am going to go ahead and get started on the early fighters and close air support and hope that those make a difference. All right. Nothing to do there. America has been fully pushed out of Hokkaido. Ah. What a disappointment. So this army, I'm going to go ahead and do this twice more, because this field marshal can handle 2 more defensively minded divisions. But after that, we want to start producing more of the offense. So these guys are already 40 combat width, 40 combat width. You guys could all handle being 40 combat width. We actually have a lot of infantry here that I guess I could leave as being defensive. Maybe we could just do this. Put them under their charge. That's probably fine. How am I going to do this? So purple has some people here. Light blue has people here. Red has up here. Okay, we actually don't have a defensive line along here for green. So we probably can go ahead and get started with this. Just gonna be careful where I'm doubling up. I don't want to accidentally mistake my offensive line as defensive and then get everyone killed. That would suck. So a bunch of you. What would it take then to change you to be 40 combat width? We don't have enough artillery available right now. Not too far off, though. Let's hold on to it for the moment. You guys actually can go join here as well. So we need some more offensive units. You guys can go here as well. So you guys actually all can go to green. Okay, so now he's up to 22. Yeah, our offense is weak. I mean, 40 combat width is great, but our offense is not our strong suit. What we actually are pretty good at is entrenching. But you guys do have 480 soft attack. Like, even though we don't have an amazing amount of breakthrough, you guys will cause a ton of casualties on the enemy side. No doubt about it. How are we doing in terms of supply? Actually pretty good. This isn't bad. Yeah, so it's deceptive. It looks like we don't have a lot of offensive units, but imagine all these and then break them in half. That's how many 20 widths we would have. So it's almost like we have 5 full armies of 20 combat widths. But we've gotten them all tighter so they can do more damage and focus their fire, which is smart. So, okay, that's all fine. I need a frick ton more artillery. We're definitely increasing in our efficiency. This is going up by 0.146 per day. That's pretty decent. We don't have anywhere near enough planes, unfortunately, to pose a threat to the Germans. He's not really training that many more troops as far as I can tell. His factory output is not increasing all that much either. We're building up some more civilian factories just so we can increase how much we're able to trade for and stuff as we continue getting these military factories. We're going to get all that anti-air. I think now is the time to go ahead and start planning out forts. So I definitely want to get to like level 4 forts. Everywhere where I don't anticipate that I'm going to be pushing, which is basically everywhere except for around Berlin. This is going to take a while to build. One of the reasons I wanted to get that construction tech speed up a little bit sooner. But we need to hold these lines. So, like, for example, I'm not going to build them here because this is where I expect I'm going to be rushing. So let's ignore this. But down over here? Sure. At least level 4. I'd love to get to level, like, 6. I wish there was something up here that told you how much longer it would take to finish all currently queued tasks. Just so I could get some sense of scale as to how much this is going to set me back. Because let there be no doubt, this is going to be a long endeavor. But I don't want to go to war at least until we have this. Minimum. Minimum. The Germans are going to be way tougher to deal with than the Soviets. And the Soviets weren't a pushover. If we are lucky, the Allies will attack, and a lot of this will end up being irrelevant. But remember, the only reason that the Allies really were able to win their war against the Germans in the first place is because of the Soviets attacking when they did. These guys will make up level 5 at least. That'll have to be okay for now. All right, we're going to do something like this. So this is going to take a while. Yeah, all right. Anyway, yeah, so we have to play the role of the Soviets. We have to take on the Germans or else the Allies cannot possibly win. United States are growing very rapidly in terms of their factory output, though, so their production is going to be freaking king. Italy, how strong are you? You're not outrageously strong. You're weaker than the UK. Vichy France, you should be pretty weak. You are. Nationalist Spain is not a part of the Axis. Yugoslavia has a bit. So does Bulgaria. And Croatia has nothing. Literally no troops at all. So these guys aren't too hard. It's just the fact that the Germans are going to be defending these guys. Ugh, gosh dang. All right. I've got at least 1, maybe 2 more years before I'm able to attack the Germans. We're just not going to be able to do that quite yet. But soon, dang it. Soonish. As we continue to deploy these freaking tanks, we're almost at the point where I can actually train the 40 combat width divisions I'm looking for. And we're going to find out what happens with that armor increase, because I want to know if I can actually research modern tanks early. Because if so, it's worth doing early. Absolutely, it would be worth doing early so I can have that chromium put to good use. Because modern tanks, oh man, they're freaking good. I know we have to end this video, but give me a second. 66 breakthrough, 24 hard attack, 32 soft attack, all right? 84 breakthrough, 32 and 40. Modern tanks are great. They are super strong. 4 chromium is usually very expensive, but that's one of the few resources I actually have in abundance right about now. So I absolutely would love to use that against them. But oh well. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If so, then I would ask that you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.